Okay, hello, this is Bob Jackson. I'm here with you to start working with the Moodle LMS. Okay, this is a learning management system, which is something like Canvas, which Canvas is what most of the schools have, and St. Mary's Woods College is moving to. However, I can't use it right now. Moodle is hosted by Rose Holman, and it can be used by any K through 12 teacher in Indiana to whatever extent you want to use it. Okay, it is a highly secure environment on the LMS. It is well supported. There's a great team there at Rose Holman that is providing support each and every day. There are teachers that have been using this LMS for nearly 20 years now. Okay, so you talk to some of them down in the Evansville area, particularly Bedford, North Lawrence, Edgewood over by Bloomington. Some teachers have used it for a very long time and do like it. Okay, and I'm not here to sell it. I'm to want to use it because it's the only one I know I can use right now with you guys that is free. Okay, and open to our use. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you last week should have got your course shell set up. Okay, where you see something like this, your course. So you got your own heading up here, and hopefully you got it all pretty full and looking good. Got you a title for your course, and then the sections of your course here. I just got us all doing the very same thing from the start. You can change it later if you choose. So you can change these titles when you get to using it on your own. I just got us all the same, so it's easier to show you. Okay, but these are the main units I plan to cover over the next in this 8-week period that we have together. Okay, what I'm going to do is try to show you how to get a course set up decently. Really what you're doing is setting up a hybrid course, not a fully online course by any means, teaching elementary school. But I think we are in the point in the world today and in our society and coming through the pandemic and all kinds of reasons you can pull in here just because of the world we are today. We're highly online. I think teachers have more and more of a responsibility to put things online for their students. It will gain you more respect with parents, I do believe. Not all of them necessarily by any means. If they can't get actively engaged with their students' schoolwork, then it doesn't help much. But you enable it. Okay, if you can take all or as much of your course content as possible and put it on a learning management system for students. I know elementary students typically aren't responsible enough to do a course, but the idea I have here is that you are putting it on there for parents to work with their students. Okay, so what is extremely important is have organization to your course. Okay, and that's what I'm here to try to show you and help you with is having organization and making things easy to access, easy to use, and also providing a variety of resources beyond just you. And that's where you can start putting in all kinds of online videos, online simulations, and other resources that you don't have time to do in class, but you can provide to them to work with at home and parents to work with their kids. And that's what we'll truly call a hybrid course, rather than it just being your lessons with the kids. You can put additional lessons onto the course that the students can work with at home with their parents, and have other ancillary resources, tutorials. I mean, there's all kinds of really good video lessons online today, and ranging all the way from TikToks to YouTube videos, to your Khan Academies and Bozeman Science and vet simulations and so forth that you can truly integrate into your courses and get a lot more engagement, okay, of students, and more engagement, particularly with students and their parents. Okay, if you set things up and do things well. Okay, so let's get started. Let me start showing you some things. Okay, first of all, you have your course here. And one thing for you know, you can always go back and you can edit things as you want. Okay, what you'll always want to do when you come on your course, start doing stuff, you're going to come up here to the upper right corner and click turn editing on. Mine was already on, so I'll click it back on. Okay, and then this is where you can start doing things on the course. Okay, you won't be able to do anything until then. If you need to go back and change anything major on your course, like these headings here and so forth, you can do most of them right here. Okay, where you can just go right back to them. But if you get into some major format things, you can go up here to edit settings and go into what you originally set up. Like if you want these names changed, you don't like the way it's said, or you want to change that, you can. Okay. Now then, the one thing that I am going to do here is I'm going to change this to St. Mary of the Woods College on mine. I never seen I didn't do that. I'll try to go into each one of yours and I'll just change that for you so we can have them all in one place. Okay, I had Ryan Smith add that after I told you guys how to set up the course to begin with. Okay, so now then you got editing turned on. Okay, now one of the first things I want to show you is how you can share your courses and actually work together with others. Okay, and that's where you come over here on the left side in this menu here, okay, and click on participants. Then go to enroll users. Okay, now then this is where you can, more than one of you can be on one course and do something. And this is a way you can share your course, what you're doing, with someone else. Like Lainey could share hers with Mary. Okay, any of you could. Or if you're working at a school and you're in a classroom working with a teacher, or you have other teachers around you, like the stuff you've got, you can add them to your course. Okay, and they can use it to whatever level you want to let them use it. Okay, now then the way you do this, first of all, they do have to go to roseprism.org and create an account just like you did. Otherwise, you'll never be able to add them. You won't find them because they're not in the system. Okay, so what you do is you go on here and you go to, first, never add students through here. There's a student admin panel on the course that students come in. You don't give them this doorway into your course. This is a doorway for teachers, okay, to get into your course. Okay, you want to either put teachers in as not editing teachers or as teachers. You are a teacher on your own course. If you put another teacher as a teacher on your course, then they can do everything you can do on your course. Okay, and that's where some of you in this class, if you're close friends and you trust each other and so forth, you can share stuff off each of your courses, and that way each one of you could put stuff on your course, and then the others can access your course, download the material and put onto their own courses, type of thing. If you want to share stuff that way, that is up to you. Okay, if you want to put someone in and you don't really want to put them as a teacher, that they can change things, but they can look at everything you got and they can actually use the stuff off the course. I mean, they can download it, they just can't change it. You put them in as not editing teacher. So like if I went here and went teacher and I put Lainey Andrews in here, should pull her name up right here, or Lainey Andrew, I'm sorry. Okay, then I just added Lainey as a teacher to my course when I did that, and you'll see her appear down here. Now then, I'm going to change that and show you how, if you put them in wrong, you can always change them, but down here you click on them, okay, and I click that away, and then I can pick another setting like not editing teacher, okay, and in fact, I'm going to put all of you, when I'm done here, into my course as a not editing teacher, so you can access my course all the time, okay, from after today. So that way you can go and see what I did again on the course rather than have to watch this video. Okay, but that's what you do. You can add them in as not add any teachers or as teachers. I'm gonna put you, like I say, I'm gonna put you all in as not add any teachers on my course. Okay, when I get this video done. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to show you. And like I say, you use that to whatever extent you want. You just want to be careful with your use of it, because whoever you give access can do whatever you do if you put them in as a teacher. Okay, so now that I want to go back to my course, you can always go up here to the thread up here and take you back to the main page of your course. Okay, and I'm here. Okay, so now then, on the course, okay, some things I want to start showing you to do. We're going to get this cleaned up and make it a real course for me and for what I want. Okay, so the first thing I would do is come over here to the side, and these are called blocks over here. Okay, now once you learn what you're doing, you might decide that you want that. Like if you get to assigning students and you have parents, you might decide you want to put a calendar block in and leave it, because it'll show their assignments on it as you put them in if you date the assignments. But I'm going to do away from it for now, because for me it's just taking up space. Okay, I'm going to do away with the activities block, and that's where I'm just going. And I'd like for you to do the same on yours. So that way you put in the blocks and stuff that you want on your course. Okay, rather than the default blocks. And you can always, just because you delete them, doesn't mean you can't have them again later. Okay, and I'll show you that. Okay, so I've deleted all these blocks. I am not going to delete the student admin block. Okay, this is where you add students in. Okay, you can do them manually by going to add a student, but if you'll go to the features, which has something later, and it'll take too long to really show you that for now, because I don't think most of you are going to put any students in right now. But you can import from an SIS system on a spreadsheet, actually. Import the students a much quicker way of doing it than doing it manually. Okay, and if you have interest in that, I'll just show you. But I'm going to leave the student admin panel there, because that's where I can put students in a course. Now then, now you can take and make your own blocks over here. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do here. Okay, and I'll just put a few in, not a whole lot. Okay, just to start showing you how to do it. Okay, so you come down here to add a block. Okay, I'm going to go to, I like using the HTML block, okay, for just general types of things. If you wanted the calendar back, it's right here. Okay, if you put a calendar on there, once you start putting assignments in there and you're using it with parents, then it should show the parents the assignments on a calendar. And that's probably one of the most usable ones, maybe for elementary, but it's not too useful right now because we have not got students in a course. Okay, so I go to HTML. Okay, now then I'm going to make this something. Okay, and what I'm going to make it is if I get me one here to use. Okay, hang with me a second and I will. I'm getting all the things I want, and then we'll show you how to do it. Okay. Now back on here, I'm going to make a block that takes me to an online resource that I may use in class a lot. Okay, or I want parents to utilize. So this is where I go to here. Okay, and I go to edit or configure, and it doesn't say edit, it says configure. Okay, I'm going to configure my block. Okay, and what I'm putting this is a link for PET simulations, because I like to use that for doing different science activities, okay, or online ones. Okay, then I'm going to always get an image, stealing it offline. I'm always going to get an image to put on it, just make it look better. Okay, and Pet probably likes this. Okay, now that's way too big. So if I double click on it, then I take these sizes down to like 250 or less. Okay, and I'm gonna go Pet right there. It doesn't really matter what you put in because nobody sees it. Now I go save image and I see the size of it. I like to center it. Okay, so I go here and I'll center it. And then this is the most important part, otherwise it won't work at all for you. Okay, once I have my image, then I'm gonna go up here to add my link. Okay, image, I got it highlighted, I go link, and I'm gonna get the URL for it. I'm gonna copy it, I'm gonna paste it, and I create the link, save changes. Now I have this block, and this is a website I want my kids to go to quite a bit, doing things in class, or it's a resource. Then if they click on it, they're going to it. Okay, so if I go to, another good one is NASA. I'm just getting a good site. Okay, this is a really good one from NASA for Earth space type stuff. Okay, so I'm going to do it. I want to get me a NASA image. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna copy that image. Okay, go back to my course. I'm gonna make one for it. So I go add a block, go to HTML, and then I go to configure block, and then I'm gonna put my image that I just stole right there. Double click it. I'm gonna take the size down to a reasonable size, typically something like 250. I'm gonna type NASA in this block right there because it's going to want you to do something, otherwise it'll reject it until you do. Okay, and I put it there. If you want, you can put something in this box up here, but you really don't have to. Okay, okay, you highlight that, you go to link, then you go to make sure you're on the website that you want, copy the URL, put it in here. Oh, and one thing I didn't do on the other, and I'll go back and do, is you want it to open a new window, and that way they stay on the course page as well. Okay, so I create link, save changes. There we go. I got a link to NASA, got a link to PET. I'll go back and change this one because I want it to open a new window. Okay, it's a little better, neater appearance. Okay, so now you can put whatever ones you want on your course over here. Please make them science related, but what ones you think you'd use. Another really good one, I know these are really good ones to have and go to a lot. Another one that's got really good stuff is Teach Engineering for all levels, K through 12. That's one I'll typically put on a course. Is okay. I think I can steal that image right there on that one if I remember right. Well, I went away from my course. Okay. Now I'm gonna go to add a block. I'm gonna make each one of them. I just use HTML. You can play with the other ones if you want to. I think the HTML one works about the best for doing what done here. Okay, I'm gonna put my Teach Engineering here. I'm going to double click it. I'm going to take it down a little bit in size. I think I'm going to take this one smaller. You just have to play around with this. Otherwise, you blow up your page with too big an image. Okay, and I go save image. Okay, I want a little bigger. Okay, let's take it back to the 350. Okay, and that's where showing you how you can play around with there. I take and I keep it highlighted. I want to center it because it just typically looks better centered. I go to the link and I'm gonna go to I lost my link. Okay, teach engineering. Okay, and I'm gonna copy and paste this link. Open a new window, I create link, I say changes, and there we go. Okay, I've got these. You can move these around however you want, as long as you got turn editing on. There's one that you use more than all the others. Put it up towards the top. Like you could take this student, since we're not using students right now, I can move it down here. Okay, and you can put whatever resource you want. A good one to also put over there is for your school. Okay, if you're like, I was at West Beagle High School, I'd put me a West Beagle High School link right up here. Okay, for the key things at your school. Okay, and that just kind of makes that nice for regular, for websites that you go to a lot. Okay, and that you want your students going to a lot. Okay, it's just something I like to do with the course. And of course, you can change them at any point in time as you go through the school year and decide there's better ones for you to put up there or what you found to work with your students. Just a good thing to do. Okay, now let's get into the course itself. Okay, go to get started. And I'm gonna have you put some labels in these to start organizing your course. So you're gonna go to add an activity or resource here, and I'm going to make labels. So I go to label. Now then you can choose the size of your font. I tend to go with like this medium. I like mine bold. And my first one is I'm a course syllabus. But some of you may, some of your schools call them like a course itinerary, a course pacing. Beagle County Schools always called their science curricula. They call them a pacing guide. So whatever's appropriate for you, your school, your area, if you know, particularly if you're working at school, you can make it that. But for now, we'll make course syllabus. Okay. I do try to make it bold. Okay. So now that's my first label. Okay. Now then I'm going to add another label. Now there's more than one way that you can do this. Let me just show you by here. Okay. Just will open up each one of these, because what you can do is you make these things. You're going to be able to copy, well, this and I won't, because I'll just have the course syllabus and the getting started. When we get down to these others, we're going to be able to do them all at once. Okay, and I'll show you as we do it. Okay, so let's make another label. Okay, and I use medium, I went bold. Next one, I would put when they all elementary teachers have to do class rules and policies. Okay, and with science, we would really call it safety guidelines. Okay. Okay. And then another label, Indiana academic standards. I'm gonna have you put those in for this, okay? Now then, you don't have to use the same font as me. If you want to use one of the different fonts, you can, or even different colors, okay? So when I was doing those, guess I didn't really show you, then you can, here, if you highlight this, you got your different sizes here, which you can play around with them. That's the only thing I don't care about on Moodle. They don't have enough options, I don't think. Kind of boring, and they don't have enough colors either. Some of these colors, like the yellow and green, and even this light blue, does not show up that well. Okay, on the course, particularly when you go to a big screen or whatever. Okay, but you can use superscripts and subscripts and underline and all that stuff, okay? And like up here, you get your picture, you can put pictures and so forth in on all these, okay? But we won't need any of that for this. Okay, so now then, there's labels for my getting started section, of course. Now I'm going to the main sections of my course. And a key thing with setting up a course is you want to make it uniform throughout. So I'll make standard headings down through each one of these sections and kind of do them all at once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make labels. Okay, and when I make them, then I'm going to copy them on down through the rest of the courses without spending a whole lot of time at it. Okay, so I'm going medium, I'm going bold, and this is where I go with my lesson plans. You could say course objectives, but I think most of you, your school is going to be requiring you to have a lesson plan, so we just want to make a section for it. If I was teaching college class, I'd be calling it the objectives of the course. Okay, so then I go save and return. And what I can do is I take this one and I just, how many sections do I have? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to copy this thing 5 times. Well, move slow. And then drag these down each one of these other sections. And then, you know, I have to sit there and do it over in each. Okay. They do have a shortcut feature than that, but I found it more work than just doing this. Where you can do, oh, this section's not open. It won't go into it unless it's open. Still don't. There it did. Okay, so that's lesson plans. And then my next is going to be label again. Okay, and go. Oh, I just always like to open the menu up. Okay. And then I'm going to go slideshows, I can't talk, slideshows and video lessons. And this is where when you get going on this course, I want you to load these up with some, not only your own stuff, but some good stuff from online. A lot of good online videos you can be providing to students to help them with. And then on each one of these, okay, you're going to duplicate and take them down through each one. I don't think I have to say that. Right here, I'll show you all the ones to get in. And then you can do the rest yourself. But I want those populated into each one of the sections of your course. Okay, I'm just making it so I don't have to make the video any longer than what I'm doing. Then I'm gonna go assignments. And this is, like I say, I'm giving organization to my course. And you'll copy that one and put it down through each one of the other sections. Then I'm gonna go labs and lab activities and simulations, which a lot of the stuff we had to do with their science or simulations, because we can't really do a lot of lab with this being an online class, but you could do with your students. Okay, lab activities and simulations. Which your idea is some of the lab activities and simulations would be what they could do at home with parents. Okay, then the next is going to be games and activities, because elementary school, I think you ought to be doing some games, and there's plenty of good online stuff. Okay, so we're going to go games and activities, and this can be like Kahoots and stuff like that. But the idea is I'm going to keep this same in every section of the course. Then quizzes and tests. And that's got me most, but I always add one more section after that. Okay, so quizzes and tests. And then I always put an additional resources. So if you're just giving them some good stuff that you come up with that they could really use at home, that doesn't mean every section of your course always has to have it populated to any extent, but it gives you the place to put additional resources to help the students. Okay. And this particularly can be helpful in like when you're doing math and giving math resources and tutorials and anything like that. Okay, so now please take and duplicate these and take them down through each one of the other sections of the course. Okay, and that's going to be the main thing I'm going to have you do here. I'm just going to show you just a little bit more and then wrap this week's up, and then we'll start getting the course really populated with stuff. But I'm going to show you how it's not hard to do. Okay, so like if you have your course, all these places, like if you have a course syllabus made up, and I'm just grabbing something. If you have anything that is in like a PDF or Word document, you can just drag it on the course and it'll pop. Don't pay attention to what it is because waiver, volunteer, foundation day form. Then I can put it into that section of my course. If it's Word document, a PowerPoint, a PDF, I can just drag and drop them. Then once you have them on there, if you don't like the file name, all you gotta do is click on it and you can change it right here. Okay, so a lot of times them file names and so forth aren't real appropriate for what you want your students or parents to be seeing on there. So you can change them what you got there. So this is where it's not going to be that hard to do, just like doing with the digital notebooks. Is a lot of the common things, Word documents, PDFs, PowerPoints, you're going to be able to drag and drop onto the course to make it active for students. And as soon as it's here, it's active. I mean, and you can make it available, okay, to students. Now, here's where you get settings where you can hide the items and so forth. Once you have them on there, you can move them right or you can move them left, okay, to make it like an outline type format, okay. And I do that, okay. Now then, for online resources, what you're going to do, I want to delete this because I don't want to leave it here, okay. For online resources, you're simply going to go here and then you go to URL. And so if I was adding like, just think of a, I'll just go back to FED again. Okay, if I was putting this on and I had them doing an actual FED simulation, this and right, it went to a pendulum lab, we'll just use it for right now. Okay, then I can copy and paste this URL, put it here, give it a title. Okay, and I'll be taking this off as well. Now then, you always want to typically come down here to appearance and change that to new window. It just works better. Okay, nothing else are you going to have to change unless you want to do later on. You can get into restrict access and so forth. Like they can't do a given activity until they've completed whatever other assignment. That's what that is. On activity completion, it's default setting where it'll show if it was something you're requiring them to do, it'll check mark it for them. Okay, so you don't have to mess with any of the settings when you do these. Okay, and this just kind of gives you now then that's active. Okay, and then like assignments, if it's going to be an actual assignment for a grade, we will be using the assignment link. And that means it gives it an assignment. You want to put a grade value in for it, and then you can grade the assignment online. Okay, so, and we'll get those as we move on through the term. I just want to get you kind of seeing what it is, and you get your course set up. So for this next week, for this week here, I just want you to get your course set up and each of the labels put into it and get you some blocks over here. you can use whatever ones you want. You can get some, I would like to see some like the science areas, and particularly the science areas that we're going to cover, which is mainly going to be earth sciences and life sciences this term. If you want to put some chemistry ones on there, you can, because I love chemistry. But get you some blocks over here and get your course set up here. On participants, put whoever you want into your course. And I see that, then that's what I'll be doing to give you a grade on this part. Okay, that should be enough for this week. Thank you. Have a good week, and we'll go back at this next week and eventually get you a science course set up.